Welcome back to the best FPS, where I find indie FPSs and play them and tell you if they're good, because my opinion is the only one that matters and everyone else is wrong.
Wrong!
Today we have Project Downfall, starring protagonists who tried to live off of the John Wick hype, but that's too bad because this isn't Fortnite. The game starts off by destroying your ears. Listen to this. Once you've recovered from the brand new tinnitus you've been given for Christmas, you can start the game. This game is basically a first-person Hotline Miami, and Hotline Miami is one of my favorite games of all time, so that's already a plus. This game revolves a lot around taking these indiscriminate pills that give you abilities like slowing down time or being able to easily chain your combos between killing enemies, and I imagine they leave you looking like Lil Durk after each one. You may really need that slow-mo because getting hit or shot really hurts. On the standard difficulty, you can take about 4 hits of any gun that isn't a shotgun or precision rifle, and you die after a singular melee. If you need to heal, that's too bad. Stop being a pussy and just get better, because there is no healing. And remember what I said about first person Hotline Miami? Yeah, you're gonna be restarting. A lot. Movement is very important, and running and shooting can save you in a lot of situations. Bullets can't hit you if you're faster than them. But if you die enough times, you'll begin to remember enemy placement and formulate plans to finish missions much easier. There's also a score system that rewards you for chaining your kills together and increases your standing on the in-game leaderboard. Project Downfall has some open world elements that you can explore. Where these locations lead exactly? Other missions that affect your ending path, or absolutely nowhere. There were a few times when I walked into a brand new area, which then led to a side mission I had already completed. The map layout is very convoluted and confusing, so if you just want to stick to going to the missions, I wouldn't blame you. But finding where you're supposed to go in the more open levels can also be very difficult. I spent a solid 10 minutes looking around a level for the exit before I realized I hadn't killed a singular enemy hiding in a dark corner. It was after I blew his back out, pause, that I could progress and exit the level. Speaking of levels, there's a level in this game named Ethnic Cleansing. That is all. Later in the game, they introduced different pill types, like Blue Collar, which increases your melee damage to 1 hit. And they were not kidding when they said 1 hit. Alright, enough about the combat. Let's talk about why we're actually here. This game takes place in some neo-noir European country where you, John Whack, have a job and a wife. The city that you live in, Crimson Tide, which is a pretty fucking cool name if you ask me, is Europe's first free megacity and probably the equivalent of Detroit. Multiple gangs run the streets, and as a corporate desk jockey, the best thing you got going on is the mandated dick pills you have to take in order to live your life. But enough about your background, it's time to go to work. Once you're off the job, you must take your Viagra in order to leave for some reason before you start talking to your own brain. Your brain warns you about taking these pills, which is actually a much better warning about drugs than Dare could ever think of. You'll hop on the midnight train going home, and this is where the voices tell you to kill, signaling that your character is probably a crazy person. At least the protagonist is relatable. In between levels, you can interact with NPCs and just move on to the next mission, or you could say fuck that and do cool shit like this. After finishing each mission, you go back home and wake up the next morning. From here, you have the option of going to work or going straight to the next mission. Something to note is that the game won't let you beat up your girlfriend, so at least you know the character isn't an ex-cop or anything. Once you leave your apartment, you'll see a bunch of cops staring at you like you're a black man in the suburbs. Jesus, this game is really hitting home. Every time you complete this cycle, you'll go through different missions and stab, shoot, kill your way through multiple locations as you clean up the streets of criminals. As you progress in the game and come back to your apartment after your missions, your girlfriend starts getting a little pissed off about your nighttime adventures. She'll never understand the mission you're on, and you'll never explain it to her either. There are actually multiple endings depending on the path you take and your sanity level from taking too much medicine. I noticed as I progressed through the game, my apartment became more of a mess. Vomit was everywhere and the place was generally fucked up. The ending I got actually had the cops coming after me and I had to retreat underground to hide. The people loved me above ground for murdering all the criminals, but I couldn't even bask in it. On my second playthrough, I realized that this game went way more in depth than I originally thought. There's actually a lot of different paths that open to you based on your pill usage and choices with NPCs. You can actually go to the therapist, and a video game is the only time I'll do that. Making new choices also opens new levels for you to play. It can even give you new starts on certain levels that you've already done before, or skipping some levels entirely. This game has some crazy replayability as there's currently 12 different endings and you'll have to find each specific path to get all of them. I just want to talk about the music in this game really quick. The music in this game was made by Roland Redwood. I wasn't able to find much on their discography other than their SoundCloud, where they have a couple of other tracks. I think the music is pretty solid and fits the theme of the game pretty well. I can say that the tracks repeating never really gets annoying, which is very important as with dying, the music will reset along with the level. So solid job to Mr. Redwood. My final verdict, Project Downfall, 8 out of 10.